Good morning, grade 7. How are you all today? Let us start with what? We will start with Crusaders. What? Crusaders. Now, the word crusade. This is a revision class, right? So, the word crusader comes from the word crusade. Which word? Crusade. Now, can you all tell me what does the word crusade mean? What does the word crusade mean? Okay, the word crusade refers to going to the cross. When you go back to the cross. Okay, now the word crusade means going back. Crusaders, this word, okay, is made from the word crusade. Okay, and the word crusade means going back to the cross. Now let's start off with. During the medieval period, the Crusades were a series of wars where the Christians of Europe tried to control Jerusalem and other holy lands from the Muslims. So the Christians wanted to control Jerusalem, and at that point of time, Jerusalem was under the control of Muslims. So Muslims also wanted Jerusalem and Christians also wanted Jerusalem. So obviously, if both of them wanted the same thing, then both of them will come in a conflict with each other. And this is the reason why crusade happened. Crusades were basically holy wars fought between the Muslims and the Christians. There were 9 major crusades and 2 children crusades that occurred from the year 1096 to 1270. Okay, during this period of time, there were 9 major crusades and 2 children crusades. So there were 2 children crusades also. Okay, thousands of knights, soldiers, merchants and peasants lost their life in the battle. The soldiers who fought because of the religious purpose and wanted to go to heaven were known as crusaders. They were known as crusaders. During the Middle Ages, Jerusalem was an important place to a number of religions. To the Jewish, Jerusalem was the site of original temple to God built by King Solomon. To the Muslims, it was a place where Muhammad ascended to heaven. Now, why was Jerusalem so important? Because, to the Jewish, Jerusalem was the site where the original temple to God was built by King Solomon. To the Muslims, why was Jerusalem important? Because this was the place from where Muhammad went to heaven. Okay, to the Christians, Jerusalem was the place because a very important place because Christ was crucified and rose again in Jerusalem. Now, the Crusades occurred between European armies, mostly the Holy Roman Empire and the Arabs. Now, there are a number of crusades that we have talked about here, which I want you to read. Okay, but before that, I want you to have an in-depth understanding of what crusades are, right? What are crusades? Now, the first crusade that happened between 1095 to 1095 to 1099 was the most successful one. Armies from Europe drove out the Seljuk Turks and took control of Jerusalem. 30,000 soldiers from Europe participated in the first crusade. The soldiers were made up of knights, peasants and commoners of the country. The second crusade happened between 1147 to 1149, okay, where the Turks conquered Edessa. The entire population of the city was killed or sold into slavery. As a result, the second crusade was started but was unsuccessful. The third crusade happened between 1187 to 1192, and in 1187, Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt, recaptured the city of Jerusalem from the Christians. Hence, the third crusade began and led by the kings of Germany, France and England. The fourth crusade that happened between 1202 to 1204 was a Western European armed expedition formed by Pope Innocent III with the hope of taking back the Holy Land of Jerusalem. However, the Crusaders got sidetracked and greedy and ended up conquering Constantinople instead. Now let's talk about the Children's Crusade that happened in 1212. The Children's Crusade was started by a French child named Stephen of Cloyes and a German kid named Nicholas. Tens of thousands of children gathered to march to the Holy Land but they never returned. They didn't go back to their houses. This was one of the most unusual events that occurred in medieval England. None of the children made it to the Holy Land. They were likely sold into slavery, and most of them died. Now, Crusades 5 through 9 that happened from 1217 to 1272, over the next several years there would be 5 more crusades. None of them would be successful in terms of gaining control to the Holy Land. So today we've talked about crusades, and we've revised about crusades, and we've talked about the crusaders. Take care. Happy learning.